Being famous is a very weird thing. At least to me. You are watched by millions of people, no matter what you do, say, or even think. It'll probably be used against you. Half the time you have to move so obscure or curious, or you have to be so in the public. You're choosing one life or the other. And most of the time, no one will ever actually want to get close to you. They just want to be close to you because of status, fame, wealth, whatever the case is, whatever they can siphon off of you. But someone asked me if I could talk about the most famous characters in JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and I am very inclined to do that. Now, starting off, it's a layup, it's a no-brainer. We have to talk about the President of the United States in JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and he is a very, very, very important character within JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, as he serves, spoiler alert for part 7, as the main antagonist. He is our main antagonist, but the thing with him and is Funny Valentine manages it exceptionally well. Now, for me, it's a combination of reasons, or not even for me, for what the show explains is a combination of reasons. For one, he was protected by having a Saint's Corpse part always within him, the Saint's Heart, and through that brought him good fortune. Him getting good fortune was easy for him to navigate through whatever he wanted or whatever he needed to get to his eventual goal. And his eventual goal did end up being the President of the United States, and he worked his way up pretty fucking easily. Not to mention that he's also extremely charismatic. We see that in part 7, but even what is said about him, he's very deceptive, charismatic, and he knows how to get you to listen and want to do things for him. I mean, shit, if you look at the end of part 7, you can see that so clearly. He almost got Johnny to let him go. Mind you, Johnny saw him kill his best friend, and he was just like, well, I could bring your best friend back. He won't be the exact same, but, he'll still be your best friend. You don't want that? Come on. It should also be mentioned that he has one of the most ridiculously high approval rates I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure by the time of his disappearance in Steel Ball Run, quote unquote, it was 96%. It was something wildly, ridiculously high. But again, makes sense. The country loves that man, and he navigates it with ease. That's why, to him, fame is probably just not a pressure or really that much of a burden, but more used as a tool. Because he damn sure knows how to use that tool. Pause. But he has been in Steel Ball Run. He was literally in the public the golden boy, essentially. He couldn't do wrong. You saw Funny Valentine, you were extremely happy. No matter the fact that he randomly kills people, even civilians. Civilians are, if they're like somewhat affecting the plan, they are not off limits. They're not off limits. And plus, it's Funny Valentine. Like, what are you going to say to the President of the United States, who everyone loves? Which is sad. Up next, we have Rohan, where in universe, his manga, Pink Dark Boy, is worldwide successful, making him extremely famous and pretty wealthy. He has a great amount of money. He's only 20, and the thing with him is, he is known as the most proficient manga artist of his time. But to add on to his fame, especially when we're talking about fame with Rohan Kashibe, it's pretty clear how famous he is. I mean, the first time we ever meet him was because Koichi and I forgot the other guy's name. I think it was Hazamada with him. But Koichi and Hazamada, they went to Rohan's house after they found out that mangaka Rohan Kashibe had literally moved into their neighborhood. And these were two kids who were very big fans of his manga, very big fans of his work. Koichi, that's literally the reason Koichi was able to get exploited by Rohan at first so easily, because Koichi was a very big fan of his work. So initially he was somewhat more trusting of Rohan, even though he was doing very weird shit like licking a fucking spider. Even though he was trying to find out the contents of the spider, he still licked the fucking spider. That's weird. Also, when you look in canon, Rohan does a lot of side quests that only a rich person would do, like be at the Louvre for whatever reason, like 2 times. Hasn't Rohan at the Louvre been done like 2 times? There have been multiple times where he's been in high fashion places, or he's going on a mystery, or even in the new universe, this is spoilers, but in the new universe, part 9, this man traveled to Hawaii. Like, there's literally a whole plot point of them trying to steal a big ass diamond from him. So Araki, one thing Araki did, he made fame and riches a integral part of his character, and he doesn't shy away from that. Rohan's also one of the only characters in JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, at least I can remember, almost always switching out clothes almost every fucking time we see him. In part 4, there are so many different Rohan outfits. I literally made an entire video on ranking outfits he's had. Like he switches them out so fucking quick. So his fame definitely can't be understated. Like when you're so famous that the first time we see you, it's a literal plot point of how famous you are. Yeah, we kind of have to acknowledge that. Now, to end this video off, I want to talk about Joseph Joestar, because when you talk about fame, I cannot finish this video without talking about Joseph, because at the end of the day, by the end of his life, or closer to the end of his life, because he never meets a confirmed end, but by closer to the end of his life, he is so famous that just off of name recognition, it has been noticed around the world. The reason I say that is because in part 4, when Joseph is about to get to Morio, Koichi literally notices the name of his company on, I think it was the side of the boat or something. Koichi has never left Morio. He's never left Morio, and I'm pretty sure that's confirmed in part 5 when he first gets to Italy and he's just like, I've never been out of Morio. He's never left Morio. And Joseph is someone who does not travel to Morio often. He doesn't even travel to, as far as we know, he doesn't travel to Japan often. From part 3, we know he doesn't necessarily like Japanese people because his daughter married a Japanese person. Like, we know that. So for him to be known in Japan, somewhere he rarely goes, just based off his real estate, his reputation as a businessman, is crazy. Like, really think about it. How many real estate companies can you say that you know off name, off look? Maybe if I'm really trying, maybe one I've seen a few times on a billboard or whatever. But knowing one that's like across the fucking world is wild. Because Joseph, I'm pretty sure, at least in part 3, he was residing in New York before he came out to Japan to go help Holly and Jotaro. He was in New York, I believe. I may be wrong, but I believe that. If I had to rank the fame in these 3 people, right, I will rank it this way. At 1, Funny Valentine, easily. He's the president of the United States. Of course, he's the most famous out of the 3. But at 2, this is where it gets a little tougher. I think at 2, I would put Joseph Joestar, because again, he's a successful real estate tycoon who owns a real estate business that people in Japan notice. People in Japan probably buy from that business. It's probably a worldwide business, you know. And at 3, I would put Rohan Kishibe, but he's not that far behind Joseph Joestar. And I think by the time, like, because in canon, we've seen Rohan as a 40-year-old man. By the time he's that age, he's probably a lot more popular. You know what I mean? But that's really all I got. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. You know, we're on the road to 10K, so anything helps. And until next time, peace.